We're touching that price right now. It's funny you should mention it. So is it a great buying opportunity?
Absolutely.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have Michael Saylor discussing the current Bitcoin market. Yesterday peaked just above $21,000 and dipped below $20,293. As of the recording of this video, Bitcoin is currently sitting at $20,483. This comes at a time when the crypto market is emulating the downturn in the stock market, which is expected. Fear in the market is to be anticipated, especially following the Federal Reserve's last increase and the uncertainties around growing expenses. Despite the Fear and Greed Index indicating instability across the board, MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor remains bullish on Bitcoin. Saylor is the least surprised by this, but it does show that inflation is still an issue. According to him, central banks would not be able to curb inflation because it is driven by excess money printing. If you enjoy the content we do here, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into the interview with Michael Saylor, who will give us his take on the current state of the Bitcoin market.
I think it's 129,000 roughly. A coin, average price of 30,700. Spent about $4 billion on it. One would anticipate if the price stays where it is, that's going to cause a significant write-down overall. At least your auditors may ask for that. You know, you've talked for years about the financial flexibility owning all that Bitcoin gives you. I wonder if you believe it also works in reverse.
No, I think it's been a net positive. We back-tested our strategy against every other alternative. And if you roll the clock back to August 10th of 2020 when we embarked on this journey, Bitcoin's performed 10x better than anything else. Gold's down 10%, NASDAQ is flat, Bitcoin is up 86% since that time. Over any time frame, 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, Bitcoin's the best performing asset. I can't come up with a better idea.
You can't come up with a better idea. Does that mean that you would actually consider buying more at these prices?
Yeah, I think if you think about Bitcoin, if your time horizon is 1 month, it looks like a volatile risk asset. But if your time horizon is 10 years, it looks like a risk-off store of value asset. So the crossover point is 4 years. Nobody's ever lost money investing in Bitcoin for 4 years. And if you want a surrogate for the book value of the Bitcoin network, it would be the 4-year simple moving average. The simple moving average of Bitcoin over 4 years is about $21,685. Bitcoin's only touched that point a couple of times in its history, and those have always been great buying opportunities. Right, this is Bitcoin's on sale.
We're touching that. We're touching that price right now. It's funny you should mention it. So, is it a great buying opportunity?
Absolutely.
Concerns about a rapid tightening of monetary policy are weighing on financial markets and their influence on major institutional investors. So it's expected that Bitcoin and ETH are pulling the entire cryptocurrency market down. The Consumer Price Index for May in the United States indicated an inflation rate of 8.6% with an annual rate of 8.3%. Investors priced in more rate hikes as a result of this news, sending global markets lower earlier in the week.
Bitcoin's backed by the most powerful secure computer network in the world. If I gave you $100 billion, you can't reproduce it. And it's beyond a nation state attack or corporate attack. So once you understand that and the fact that it's a singularity, there's nothing like it in the world, then yeah, this is an ideal entry point to get into this thing.
All right, but you've also taken on debt in order to actually accrue that position, which does incur a certain amount of risk, doesn't it? I mean, I know, you've got, 6 and a 1.25 senior notes. They're, 2028. You've also got maturities that are out there, but there's concern in the market about margin calls, about collateral calls, certainly on some of this debt. Can you clarify for us exactly what those are under the covenants that you currently have and how they may impede your financial flexibility?
Yeah, sure. On a multi-billion-dollar balance sheet, we've only got a $200 million loan that we have to collateralize, and we're 10x over-collateralized on that right now. If the market traded down by a factor of 10, we've got cash and we generate cash flow. So this has all been, the margin call thing has much ado about nothing. It's just made me Twitter famous, so I appreciate that. And the Twitter trolls love to beat up on me because it gets them engagement. As for the company's balance sheet strategy in general, we borrowed $2.2 billion at a blended interest rate of 1.8% before interest rates doubled. Junk bond indexes from 426 basis points to 820 basis points. Mortgage rates have doubled. If you had a chance to grab $2 billion at 1.5% interest, it seems like a reasonable thing to do, and I'm glad we did it. Most of it is unsecured debt. 1.7 billion of it is unsecured. The 500 million comes due in 7 years after we borrowed the money. So we feel like we have a fortress balance sheet. We're comfortable, and the margin loan is well managed.
Saylor's company made headlines when it decided to invest a significant percentage of its resources in Bitcoin. After meeting its obligations to shareholders, the corporation received 21,454 BTC in its initial $250 million investment. The investment was motivated by Saylor's opinion that Bitcoin is a reliable store of value and an appealing investment asset with greater long-term appreciation potential than cash. Saylor's long-held belief is that Bitcoin is a better investment than fiat currency, and that the corporation had made Bitcoin its primary asset in its treasury reserve position. The drop in equity prices comes as traders expect corporations to report weaker revenues and consumer spending as the Federal Reserve works to bring prices under control. Some analysts believe that central bank policies will have an even greater impact on Bitcoin pricing. Cryptocurrencies have grown in importance as a global macro asset in recent years, therefore unfavorable reactions are to be expected. When investors recognize that central banks haven't reacted as forcefully as they'll need to in order to get inflation under control, the global economic landscape is becoming increasingly difficult to navigate for investors in all markets. It's no wonder that Bitcoin is under pressure from all sides. Michael Saylor is not only a firm believer in time horizon, but that directly plays into the long-term holdings that many investors are currently contemplating. It's not just crypto markets that are feeling the burn right now, it's stocks across the board. Saylor believes that even inflation won't stop the collapse in currencies, but it could definitely affect short-term trading in the crypto market. One of the strategies Saylor suggests is, if you're in an inflationary environment, to convert weak property into strong property. But it's not as easy as moving out of the country. Those countries could just as well devalue that currency, and you'll take a significant loss. That's why Saylor says that Bitcoin is the greatest asset in human history because of the value it holds. While being the biggest Bitcoin holder among publicly traded companies has its risks, Saylor believes MicroStrategy could survive a serious bear market. Saylor tweeted yesterday, MicroStrategy has a $205 million term loan and needs to maintain $410 million as collateral. MicroStrategy has 115,109 Bitcoin that it can pledge. If the price of BTC falls below $3,562, the company could post some other collateral. Saylor appears confident for a worst-case scenario. Comment down below on what you think of Michael Saylor's position. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.